Namaste and welcome to this Ajna Chakra practice, looking at the third eye. Ajna Chakra is the sixth chakra and it's located in the center of the brain between the eyebrows. The color associated here is an indigo or a purple, a violet. And when the Ajna Chakra is unbalanced, you may notice that you're feeling very unfocused, or there may be a lack of willpower. You may also experience memory trouble. There may be a feeling of self-doubt or not being able to draw on an inner guidance or tapping into an insight. Whereas when Ajna is balanced, you notice that you have strength in your willpower and you're willingly able to trust in your own intuition. You can experience high levels of consciousness and feel very focused. So unbalanced Ajna can often lead along the path of depression, anxiety. You may even experience headaches or migraines. It is one of the higher centers, so if you're practicing this class today in the online studio, I always suggest that you work through the lower chakras first. It can be quite a jump to move from the root chakra, for example, all the way up to Ajna. So get yourself grounded, get yourself strong, feel the loving energy, tap into your desires and how you can voice those before you move up here into Ajna. So Ajna is more of a yin energy, not that this will be a yin practice, but we'll hold poses and use our focus at Ajna at all times, even if you're in a balancing asana or a posture that asks you to be steady and still. At any time, you can draw your attention up to this space between the third eye. So I invite you now just to get comfortable in your seat and close down your eyes when you're ready. Drop into a natural and relaxed breath. Begin by feeling that breath moving in your soft belly. And our intention today is to awaken and clear any blockages that may be here at the third chakra. And you'll notice that when you begin to live at more of this Ajna level, it makes it so much easier to find beauty and wonder in each and every moment. But to tap into your intuition requires openness and a trust from you. To live from Ajna, the witness center, where you can become more detached and instead of gripping or holding tight to perhaps things that no longer serve you, here at Ajna, becoming instead the observer of your body and your mind, both internally and externally. So let's bring the soles of the feet together out in front and make a diamond shape with the legs. And as you breathe in, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the chest and just gaze upward. On the exhale, tuck the chin to the chest and roll the spine, sitting back a little. And imagine this next inhale is drawing all the way up from the base of the spine, from the root chakra, Muladhara, up into the third eye. And then on the exhale, down from the third eye, throat, heart, navel, pelvic area, root chakra. Inhaling, floating upward and feeling prana moving through your central energetic channel. And exhale to round. So So taking your inner view more and more to the spine and imagining that prana moving up. And if it's helpful, you can see it as a light that arises all the way up to the third eye before following it back down on the exhale. So when we focus our mind and consciousness, we can begin to see beyond the distractions and illusions that often stand before us, and we begin to have more insight to live and create more deeply in a way that aligns with our highest good. So from awakening Ajna today, as you lift up to the third eye, you can settle that next exhale back down to a neutral spine. You can keep the legs in diamond pose if you like, or cross them back into your sukhasana, your easy pose, or even lotus pose if you prefer. Relax the shoulders down and continue to notice that you can focus inwardly on the breath, moving from the base of the spine all the way up to the third eye. But this time on the exhale, you're going to chant Om as you feel the breath moving all the way back down. Inhale slowly, transferring energy through the body to the third eye, and as you exhale, and we'll continue like this. You can chant outwardly or inwardly. Know that through this practice today, you can begin to transcend the everyday external limitations by which we are often held back. Moving more through this process of tuning in, trusting your intuition, and being open to the many, many possibilities. Take just 3 more breaths, transferring upward to the third eye. Chanting Om as you move energy down from the third eye all the way to the root chakra. And if you'd like to take this last one with me, let's inhale together. Take your gaze behind those closed eyes, back up to the third eye. Looking upward, notice the indigo light. Let everything else in your mind drop away with this soft gaze to the indigo light. Let all judgments, all vulnerabilities, all restrictions on your thoughts and emotions dissolve. And simply notice what arises and blooms and shines here for you to witness. Let the eyes soften back down and take your time to come onto your hands and knees and into child's pose, where I encourage you to lower the third eye down to the earth, or even making a support under the forehead. Feel that connection as you release the weight of the head. Take your focus here to Ajna and imagine planting the seeds of these insights that are already beginning to come to you. Begin to rise up and come onto the hands and knees. Have the knees back slightly from the hips and have the shoulders forward over the wrists as you look forward, and draw up a little through the belly, firm through the lower back, and take a breath in. And as you exhale, lengthen back into more of an extended child's pose, just for that breath. And as soon as you need to inhale, draw yourself forward, spreading the weight evenly through both left and right hand, and exhale to lengthen. Inhale, coming forward, lengthening from crown to tailbone. Exhale, slowly back down. Coming forward this final time, so you're here in half plank. On your exhale, you can release all the way down to the earth. You could find Sphinx, otherwise join me in Cobra, hands a little wider. Imagine picking up from the back of the neck, and as you inhale, brighten through the chest, expand the elbows outward, and on the exhale, lower all the way back down. Briefly touch the forehead to the earth before coming up again on your inhale. Exhaling, releasing all the way back down. And you're going to do that just one more time with your breath. Drawing the chest forward, releasing down on your exhale, third eye touches grounds. Hands come under the shoulders. Inhale through hands and knees, and exhale back into that extended child's pose. Just one breath here. So as you inhale this time, come forward, lift the sit bones upward into downward facing dog, and just take a slow walk here on the spot, lifting the heels one at a time. You may focus your attention down into the third eye. Just feel energy pouring down like you're filling a vessel. And you may see this as a overflowing of indigo light, a cloudy mist, infusing the whole body from top to bottom. Release the knees down, come down into child's pose, touch the third eye, but this time soften the elbows. Relax a little through the shoulders. Within these pauses, keep checking in, like messages pinging on your phone, notifications. Your body is giving you messages. Insights are coming from a space deep within. And as you come onto the hands and knees, you can bring the knees a little closer together, and let's take the right leg back as you inhale and lengthen the spine. You can imagine the leg like an extension of the spine. On your exhale, curl in, bring the forehead toward the knee. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, curling in, rounding through the upper back as you press into the hands. Reaching all the way back. You might like to come onto the fingertips this time so you can bring that right leg all the way to the front of your mat, coming into a low lunge. On your inhale, pick up the arms and send the hips back a little here. On the exhale, float the arms down, look upward. Inhale to lift. You might be able to start straightening that front leg a little more. Exhale. Breathing in, energy lifting, giving you a sense of rising to new you with this new knowledge of yourself. And you can bring the hands all the way down. So curling under the back toes, lift up into a high lunge. You might start with a bend through the back knee. Take the arms all the way up. Bring the hands to touch overhead, and as you inhale, start to straighten both legs. On the exhale, bring the hands into namaste at the chest and bend both knees. Inhale. Steady gaze as you lift and lengthen, and exhale back down a little lower. Inhale. And exhale, bending generously. Hands can come to the front of the mat and take a breath in, step the back leg forward, lift the chest halfway. And exhale to fold. Let the head be heavy like a piece of ripe fruit hanging on the last branch. You might bend the elbows a little more, bend the knees a little more. Get comfortable here in your forward fold. There shouldn't be any strain on the lower back. Bend the knees even more if you need to. And again, filling the body from the top down. And as we come up, use the legs. Let the legs, these strong leg muscles, do all the work here. So bending the knees, tuck the chin to the chest, and very slowly as you press into the feet, rolling the spine up. Slowly, slowly, so that eventually the head comes up last of all and the shoulders can relax away from the ears, turning the palms out. Soften the knees here a little. Notice the head very lightly resting on the shoulders. Turn your inner gaze to Ajna and feel this sense of uplift, an inner desire to rise, to be at your best. You can soften those knees a little more now and go on and open the eyes if they're not already. I'm going to soften those arms, those legs. And as you breathe in, you can take the arms all the way up, just very softly, and Exhale them back down. And then pick up the right knee as you inhale and turn to the right as you exhale and place that right foot back down. Inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, stepping back down. And just going to continue like this and imagining that you're standing on a cloud and very mindful of how you're placing each foot back down on the earth or the cloud in this case, very lightly. And the hands feel like they're also moving through this misty cloud, and as you make shapes with the body, all you're considering right now is this easy movement as the breath and body connect. Nothing else matters right now. You can let everything else in your life just fall away. If you wanted to add a little more, as you pick up your knee this next time, also extend the leg back as you softly reach forward with the chest. Inhale back upright and exhale that leg back down. And on the second side, inhale and exhale. Inhale to come upward and exhale to step back down, and keep going like this as you breathe in, picking the leg up and like a tail feather extending back and feeling the air all around the fingers and the toes. So the next time you pick up your left leg, let's send that leg all the way back. In a warrior 3 variation here, and you can bend through the front knee, place that left foot down and find your high lunge once more. Take the arms all the way up, but there's still that softness with the arms as you float them forward and lean forward and pick up the chest. Gaze is steady, soft. Arms like branches moving in the breeze so that they eventually ground down, and you can step back into a full plank if you like, or come back into that half plank position and shift forward on the inhale and release all the way down on the exhale. Inhale to cobra and exhale to release back down. So join me if you wish into upward facing dog. It's a little more dynamic, so you can stay with your cobra if you prefer. Up dog, hands down near the lower ribs, pressing into the top of the feet. Pick up through the back of the neck, and as you press into the hands, the hips lift, the knees lift, so you're just on your hands and the top of the feet. Look up as you inhale, and as you exhale, roll over the feet and come into downward facing dog. And then on the inhale, come forward into plank and lower down into this up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So instead, you could just come onto the hands and knees and move forward and back from half plank into your extended child's pose like we did a moment ago. Particularly though, if you're in this up dog flow, be mindful of switching on the core to help support the lower back. So the next time you're in downward facing dog, or if you're in Child's pose, you can come into dog pose now if you like. Find stillness here. Relax through the neck and the jaw. Drop down to the knees. Bring the knees a little closer. Send the left leg back on your inhale. And curl in, bring forehead to knee on the out breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, curling in. Inhale. Your breath is what you're following here. I'm just cueing you as to when is an optimal time to breathe in and out. But the next time you take your leg back, you could lift to the fingertips and send the left leg through. Inhale the arms up and the hips lift, maybe straighten the front leg. And on the exhale, drop the arms, the hips, but stay interested here as you look up. Energy of Ajna, higher chakra, wanting to draw you up from all of these stories that we get caught up in life, in society, and all of these roles that we play. What if we were to be able to lift ourselves a little higher beyond this? Bring the hands down and pick up the back knee as you come into your high lunge. Of course, you could stay low if you wanted to there and send the arms up. Bring the hands to touch overhead. Straighten both legs. As you exhale, draw your hands down to the heart. Bend into the knees. Inhale, lift. And exhale back down. Inhale, lay here one more time. And drawing down as you bend through the knees, and then the hands can come down at the front of the mat. Take a breath in, step the back foot forward, lift halfway before releasing the chest to the thighs. And to do this, you may need to bend the knees. You could hold on to the opposite elbows here if you wish. And just take a note for yourself, a personal memo, what it is that you can observe in this moment. Perhaps it's the stillness, quiet, deep within. We're going to bend the knees and trust in the strength of our legs to help us rise up lightly, vertebrae by vertebrae, stacking one on top of the other, bringing the head all the way upright. If you have your eyes closed, you may notice colors, images starting to come onto that movie screen behind the eyelids. And you don't need to make sense of anything, it's just happening and you're noticing it. You're observing what occurs for you and also your reaction to it. Let those knees and arms soften a little as you find that cloud salute, so lifting up the right leg as you breathe in, and placing it back down on the out breath, Hands move to the right, soft gaze moves to the right. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, stepping down silently. Moving from side to side. Ajna is where the nadis converge. The energetic channels that run on either side of the body, Ida and Pingala. This is our yin and our yang energies. So feel this through your body now. You may just notice a difference between the two sides of your body and how that changes as you start to bring it into sync. And you can, of course, pick up your leg and send it behind you at any time as well, like we did earlier. If you wanted to add that in, you can, or you can just stay that first variation. Let yourself embrace those little wobbles and notice the little tremors of the body that signify to you that there's this unity under the skin. So much working together to bring you into this steady inner stillness. So the next time the right leg is sending back behind you, you can float there for a moment in this warrior 3 variation, a soft warrior 3, before landing that right foot behind you. And you might pick up the arms in your Anjali Asana and send them back behind you, like you're sweeping your arms through that cloud, moving the mist that has over time fogged, distorted your vision of your future. Those hands can come all the way back down, and you can step back to half plank with the knees on the ground. So you could take downward facing dog here, otherwise let's take a dolphin variation. And I would suggest that you bring your elbows down to the floor and hold on to the opposite elbows, and this will give you a good indication of how wide the elbows need to be. Then you can bring the hands out in front and interlace the fingers, and you're going to press into the earth, into the little finger side, the forearms and the elbows as you find your dolphin pose. So the lower half of dolphin pose looks very much like a downward facing dog. So the hips lift, bend the knees as much as you need to. Think about bringing the shoulders forward and the hips coming up as much as they can, like you're aiming to bring them over the shoulders. The shoulder blades slide up the back of the body, so the shoulders are moving away from the ears. You could take one leg off the mat and extend it upward. Keep pressing into this triangular base. And then replace that leg back down before taking the other leg up. Feel the crown of the head and the whole body wanting to ground down towards the earth. And you can now walk those feet back a little and bring the knees down. Go wide with the knees and find child's pose. You might like to wrap the arms around behind you, but do have the head either on the ground or on the hands as support. And you should feel just a little bit of pressure there at the third eye as it touches down. So this little bit of pressure will help you to keep your focus here. There's that feeling. Breathe into the third eye. Imagine pouring a indigo coloured ink into this point where energy is held. And the rest of the body is like a paper towel, so absorbent. So that as you begin to lift on up and sit back on the heels, the whole body now absorbs the energy of Ajna. And unlike the other chakras that have a syllable or a mantra associated with them, it's simply silence here at Ajna. Begin to bring the hands out in front and find your way back up into downward facing dog. We're going to walk the hands to the back of the mat, so bend the knees generously and begin to walk back. So the feet are hip distance apart, and take a breath in and lift the chest halfway, lengthening back to the crown, forward to the ground and back to the tail. And then as you exhale, you can soften through the hip flexors, and you could reverse swan dive here, but a spinal roll will probably complement this practice a little more, just continuing to move slowly and noticing the energies moving up and down through Shushumna, this central energetic channel, through the spine where the chakras are all located, and here up all the way to Ajna. So keep your gaze, your focus steady as you send weight to the left leg and bring the right knee in towards the chest, and just hug that knee in towards the chest. Draw up through the pelvic floor, firm the belly. Take that right leg a little over to the left and soften the left knee. You need a little bit of a bend there. You could stay like this, so just work through the stages as is appropriate for you. Right arm could lift up. You could send the right arm back. Turn the palm away from you. Maybe take the gaze out to the right side or back to the fingertips. Some like to extend the right leg forward. And then folding everything back in, but coming into a figure four. So the right ankle rests on top of the left thigh as you bend the left leg, flex the right foot and come into your figure four. Focusing the breath steady, mind quiet. And then we're releasing the hands down. You can release the foot if you like, but otherwise keep that left leg bent and keep that shelf for the right ankle to rest on, and take this variation of three-legged dog. So the left leg needs that bend so you're not hyperextending the left knee. Then you can send the right leg forward into your pigeon pose and extend the left leg back. Bring the third eye down. You could make a little stack with the fists or bring it down to the hands or the earth. Receive the quiet. Quiet spaciousness of your mind is available to you. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, finding your way back into downward facing dog or child's pose if you prefer. It could be stillness, or you may like to continue moving slowly with the legs, lifting one heel at a time. We're bringing the hands to the back of the mat once more, so releasing the heels down towards the earth evenly as you bring the hands towards the feet, and slowly taking your time to find yourself upright. Slowly, silently, the stillness continues to wash over you. It's almost as if you've taken the windshield wipers across the glass and cleared your view. And now you can see clearly what's ahead. So we begin to shift the weight to the right foot. Any other standing leg balance is optional here as well. You could take a tree pose if you prefer. Otherwise, bring that left knee up and firm through the center. Just guide that knee across slightly, and you may like to add the left arm or extending it back behind you. Perhaps turning the gaze out to the left, or even taking hold of that left foot if that's in your practice. And then as we fold everything back in, come to figure 4 with the left ankle on top of the right knee. Flexing the toes on the left foot back towards the left shin. Feel the palms engage. Feel left and right sides of the body, the two energetic sides of the body converging to one steady space. And as we find our downward facing dog, keep that bend through the right knee as you walk the hands forward. You might be able to send that left knee back a little, keep opening through the hip. Feel your weight even through both hands, both arms, reaching up out of the wrists. And all other distractions can be put aside. Can we remain detached from them? We can often surprise ourselves as you bring that left leg forward, that your vision becomes crystal clear. Here in your pigeon pose, as if you're gazing in to the mirror-like surface of a pond. What do you see? Who do you see? Do it all with compassion and kindness. You can come on up and release that left leg in any way that feels good for you right now. It might be lifting on the balls of the feet and taking the hips up high. You may like to walk the feet a little further forward and start to stack the shoulders over the wrists and send the crown of the head down towards the earth. Perhaps explore extending one leg up and just feel through this inversion the energy pouring down into Ajna. Walking back out and child's pose, a softness. And then you'll find a comfortable seat for you for this pranayama practice of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So you could straddle a bolster or sit up on a pillow or a cushion. So these nadis that move through Sushumna on either side of the body converge here at Ajna to balance. And they open and awaken by flowing movement, energy, prana, up and down. And this is what we're going to do with our alternate nostril breath. Flow the energies up and down through Ida and Pingala. So sometimes when our eyes are overly stimulated, they can cloud our intuition. So when Ajna is open, it becomes this instrument to perceive the more subtle qualities of reality. So when you leave your practice today, you're going to feel like colours are brighter, sounds are more crisp, smells are more distinct. Everything is going to be so much more alive in your senses. So let's together practice our pranayama. Pranayama, and this particular one, is generally safe for most practitioners. If you have any high blood pressure or really a migraine or a headache, this will probably help you. So there's really just high blood pressure. But of course, with all pranayama practices, if at any point you're feeling uncomfortable, you just skip it out, drop back to the soft belly breath. But otherwise, with a brightness through your posture, an openness through the chest, aim to bring the chin parallel to the floor. Take your dominant hand and the first two fingers here at Ajna, applying just gentle pressure. We're going to use the ring finger and the thumb to block the nostrils. We always begin on the left side, so you can block the right nostril and inhale through the left. Then blocking the left nostril, exhale through the right side. Keeping the left nostril blocked, inhale right. Blocking the right nostril, exhale left. And this is one round, and we always complete the round by exhaling through the left side. You can continue now. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Feel yourself relaxing through the jaw. softening through the forehead. Taking your time with each and every breath. And noticing that when you are in no hurry, you can savor that slight pause in between the breaths. So at the top of the inhale, at the apex of the nose, feel yourself holding the breath in just a second or two. And at the bottom of each exhale, feel yourself empty, leaving the breath out for just a breath or two, a second or two. Take just one more round, which will end with an exhale through the left nostril. Eventually releasing that hand back down to the leg. Turning your inner gaze to Ajna. And with both nostrils free now, feel the breath moving all the way up to the apex of the nose, up higher to the third eye. And from the third eye, as you exhale, all the way back down through both nostrils. So a shorter distance for the breath to travel compared to when we moved it from the base of the spine. But stay with these steady, relaxed breaths. Feeling the breath moving in through both nostrils as you breathe in. And on your next exhale, imagine the prana, the breath moving all the way from the third eye down through the spine, touching each chakra before releasing to the base of the spine. From the base of the spine, inhale all the way back up, follow the breath with your inner view. Exhaling all the way back down. Now let's add the mantra Om on the exhale, breathing all the way in and up. Twice more like this. inner world very much alive. Your inner world very much alive. And you simply notice it all. You don't need to get involved. Simply be and observe. You may like to stay seated or perhaps transfer down onto your mat into Shavasana. I encourage you to keep your eyes closed if you're able to as you make this transition. Feel the witness center of Ajna open and free as you become more and more detached. You will notice sounds, smells, tastes, sights, sensations. But rather than engaging, be the observer of the experience that's happening in both your inner and outer worlds. Feel your inner view clearer, your insight strong, so you can now trust in your own intuition to see beyond the distractions and illusions that could have once stood in your way. Trust now that you have greater insight to live and create more deeply, a way that you can align with your highest good, your most inner desires. Trust. All the answers are within you. When it is time for you to move and make your way back into this day, go forward with a sense of curiosity. Imagine seeing the world for the first time, or as if you're seeing the world through a child's eyes. I wish you well in this personal exploration. Namaste.